Hello, it's me again, second video, and this time we're recording from the Alma Hotel in Petra, where the workshops eventually are going to take place. And it's a very special place. There's all the reason why I'm here, the reason why the workshops are going to be here. I'm going to explain that all. But today, a topic that everyone wants to know, and that is basically what is a twin flame? What is a twin soul? Basically the same. I prefer twin soul, but hey ho, everybody recognizes it as twin flame, so I'll keep twin flame for the moment if that's okay. It's not a new concept. A lot of people seem to think it's a very new concept, something new agey. It's actually not, believe it or not. Plato, the famous Greek philosopher who lived around 380 years BC, wrote a very famous work. And basically there was a guy in there called Aristophanes, if I pronounce that correct, and he mentioned a very interesting story. Obviously it's a myth. Mythology in Greek is obviously a very, very common thing. And he wrote about a situation where people were basically two people in one. So imagine yourself with 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads. Not quite sure if that's a pretty picture, but for the moment, just imagine that that's what you are. And he described that those people were very powerful, very intelligent, very threatening to all the Greek gods, the 12 gods of Greece. So Zeus, however you pronounce it, decided that that was not good. And it was a threat, and it had to stop. So according to the thing that was written down was that he then took a sword and split all the people into 2. So you had 2 people more recognizable as we are today. 380 BC, so a long, long time ago. What's the relevance to twin souls, twin flames? Well, it is because in a way that is not entirely different to what this concept is all about. The easiest way to explain it, and I know there's a lot on the internet on this subject, and also a lot of nonsense on it, and hence I try to keep things simple. That's me. I would say about a couple of 100 years ago, some scientists discovered that the whole universe basically is split into 2. You have matter and you have energy, and that is in constant change. Everything changes all the time. For example, this is matter, obviously my bones and all that, it's matter. But something inside me gives me the energy, gives me the oomph to go on. Without it, I would be basically just a dead body laying on the ground or sitting or whatever. But you need that energy to basically keep you going. So matter and energy. And it changes all the time. Obviously, when I grow older, and eventually die, then my energy will disappear again from this physical body, from the material body, and so on. So everything changes all the time. Now, when we are born, the other side of the story, the opposite happens. So material things start to grow in the womb of the mother. The child starts to grow, but something needs to actually literally kickstart it so that it's alive. And that's that energy. There's a lot of conversations about where that energy comes from. And the energy, the easiest way to describe it as far as I'm concerned, is a big pool of energy that is in the universe and that keeps everything moving. It moves the moon around the earth. It moves everything. It moves basically the sun. Makes sure that the sun has enough energy to actually influence the weather system, for example, here on earth. You see all the clouds coming over and all that. There's constant moving, there's constant energy. And that same pool of energy is where we are born from, where the energy comes from. Some people, and obviously over the years, made it very difficult to understand that concept. And so some people call it heaven, some people call it God energy, some people call it whatever you want to call it. It's something that we don't understand other than we recognize that it's there somewhere. So I call that the universal energy. So we basically are energy and we are matter. We're living into a world where everything is in duality. We have good, we have bad, we have cold, we have hot, all those sort of things. There is duality. We have males, we have females, There is duality. This whole world that we're living is a world of duality. Some people call that the 3D dimension, and call the God energy, if you like, the 5D dimension. What is the main difference? Well, in the 5D world, that pool of energy, there is no good nor bad. There is no, there basically is absolutely nothing but pure energy, pure energy. And so if you then translate that energy back into this world, then that energy cannot exist as such in this three-dimensional world, three-dimensional in terms of good, bad, and so on. There is a definite split, there is duality. So that soul energy needs to split to exist in this 3D world, which is why that soul energy has to split into two different people to exist in this world, hence twin flames. It's the same soul, same energy, same signature, same vibration, same everything, it's just in two different people. It had to split. So that's, in essence, what twin flames, twin souls are all about. So then you're thinking, well, that's great. So there's somebody walking around here that is part of my other half's energy. And that's exactly right. Everybody has got a twin soul. Everybody's got a twin flame. The question is, where is he or she? And you don't know. You have no idea. It could be anybody on this planet. And therefore, the likelihood of you actually meeting your twin soul is very remote. It can happen. It happened to me 40 years ago. It can happen, but it's not something that happens a lot. Having said that, over the last, say, 25 years, 30 years, more and more people find that twin souls are twin flames. And okay, there's again a zillion theories why that is, because energies needs to be raised, God knows what. It doesn't matter. For this purpose, it doesn't matter at all. The fact is that more and more people start finding their twin flames and their twin souls. So the likelihood is not very high at all. In fact, most people won't find their twin soul throughout their life. Some people do, some people don't. If you do meet him or her, because for me, it's a female twin, but it could be a male twin, it doesn't really matter, as long as they're two different people. Remember, the soul had to split into two people. It could be anybody, and yes, if you encounter that person, then it's, I call it, let the dance begin, because that's exactly what it is. In this video, I'm not going to describe too much what that journey is all about. That's going to be the next video. I'll explain a lot more about what that journey is, and trust me, it is not a fun journey. It is not. And again, I'll explain all that, and I'll also explain why that is. There's a very good reason for that. So another question that pops up a lot with people that I talk to is, well, how do you recognize that this is your twin flame? Okay, that is indeed a bit vague, but let me give you my experiences and what I think are quite unique to what a twin flame is versus a non-twin flame. First of all, there's immediate recognition. And that is a very weird experience. It's not like, I know you. It's more like, there's something here, but you're very special, you're very strange, you're very special, but not in a special way as two lovers meet each other, for example. Oh, that you're very special to me. It's very different. And you immediately recognize that other person, that other energy, that other soul energy that's in that person that is very much the same as yours. Difficult to explain. If you experience this one day, or maybe you will experience, then you know exactly what I mean. Another thing that happens is there is an absolute intense magnetic pull. There's a pull between those two souls that once you have met each other, as they call it soul recognition, once you experience that, then that intense magnetic pull will be there for the rest of your life. There's no escape. It will be there all the time. If you're trying to pull that magnetic pull away, or trying to break that, then I can assure you right now, forget it, it's just not going to happen. Once that soul recognition took place, that's it. Another thing that will happen is you'll find that there are very frequent synchronizations in what you do, in what you feel, in what you, and so on, and so on, and so on. If you communicate with your twin soul, once you had that soul recognition, you will notice that, that indeed you had a telephone call and then, oh, I did 2 days ago, I did such and such. Well, that's interesting because I had exactly the same experience, or I felt that, or you know what I mean? That synchronicity is very, very much there, and you will no doubt experience that when you find your twin flame. There's also an unstoppable, and that's actually the purpose of meeting your twin flame. There is an unstoppable spiritual awakening. You become much more, not spiritual in the sense of I see fairies and all that kind of good stuff, but spiritual in the sense of you're very much hooking into your soul, to your feelings. Is probably the best way of saying it. You're much more aware of your feelings. You're much more aware of what you experience. So you're turning very much into yourself. And the whole purpose of the twin flame journey is to trigger the other person and yourself, same soul, into that spiritual awakening. The other thing that you have with your twin flame, it's a mirror. Whatever I do, she will do. Whatever she will do, I will do. That then becomes very interesting when you have conversation with your twin flame. That the other day you behaved very strange, and I'm not quite sure if I like it. And then she will say to me, but you behave exactly the same way. And it becomes a mirror. You become each other mirror, and that's needed so that the sides of you that does need development a little bit, and you know, that's again that sort of spiritual awakening is something that is mirrored by a twin flame to you, so that you can either ignore it, but hopefully do something with it and make sure that you develop in the other way. So that's the mirroring effect. And if anything, I guess the initial meeting and recognizing that that's your twin flame is a feeling of homecoming. There is this absolute bizarre feeling of, I feel at home now. And that is because, of course, you meet the other side of your own soul. And that, of course, is you. And therefore, it feels like home. I hope that makes sense. What it is not. It is not a soulmate. A soulmate is something very different. A lot of people confuse twin flames with soulmate. Soulmate is very different. A soulmate is somebody that is very near and dear to you, and we all have people that are like that. And you can argue there's a lot of similar ways the way we think, similar ways of the energies, similar ways of doing things, not your twin flame, but very similar way of doing things. And that's your soul family, your soul mate, if you like. And we all have soulmates. I'm married to my soulmate. So there are soulmates around, but again, they are very different to twin flames and twin souls. One thing I will reveal, which again will be the next video, but one thing that is very obvious, a difference between a soulmate and a twin soul, is that there is a very high likelihood that your basically soulmate and you will be there for a long time together. A twin flame relation is very, very different. And you will see in the next video that indeed it is a constant push-pull, and there's periods of people, the twin souls, not being together. My twin and I, we've been together for a while, then we're not together for a while. The longest time was something like 15 years that we were apart and then met each other again. So it is not a very stable relationship. And that's obvious because the reason, again, you meet your twin flame is that he or she triggers a healing process, that spiritual awakening process in you, and you need to do that. So you can't continuously be together because that would not work. So, hope that works a bit. It's a very unique and very sacred bond between twin flames, but it's most definitely not the very romantic, all-including whatever some of the internet people will tell you. It is definitely not. And I hope I explained a little bit for what reason. So I hope this helps. If not, then drop me a line. There's an email address, twincoach205 at gmail.com. Sorry. Feel free to drop me a line if you want to, or leave a comment below this video. That's okay too. And on that subject, if you want to stay up to date, please like this video and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.